toms. Let's talk about toms. Perfect segue, Eyal. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So
Here for you.
thank you. This is what I do. I don't know what you guys do. I don't know what anybody else does, and I don't care, frankly. I like to trim my toms. I like to get rid of all the sound. I have never found a gate that I like that can get rid of stuff. Maybe there is one, but I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. So I'll just go through. Let's see what we got here. I'm pretty sure I already know. There's like barely any tom hits in this song anyway, but not a fan of the tom bleed. Some people love it. Some people think that you can't make a drum sound without the bleed from the toms, and to each his own. But I totally just mute it. I don't turn it down. I don't care. I just mute it because I don't like it. There's another one. Also, these toms don't sound great. I know. I understand. This was back when I had a lot less knowledge, believe it or not. While I was tracking this, I wasn't as good at tuning toms and all kinds of stuff. But after working with actually Matt Brown, you guys, do they know who Matt is?
They know who Matt is, and we actually just finished filming a course with Matt.
Matt is a drum god. He's an awesome drum tech. Very cool dude.
Yeah, so just for future plug, we just finished a drum course with him.
And he is where I got my information from. So I mean, Jesus, go straight to the source.
Yeah.
So I actually learned a lot just from working with him on some projects. So I'm a lot better now than I was. So that means you better check that thing out, whatever Eyal's talking about.
Dude, it's
there.
like, it took us 7 full days of filming.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's all about drum production and drum tuning, and just imagine Matt talking about drums for 7 days straight.
That sounds like my dream. So anyway, I'm gonna expedite this. This is how close I'll cut the toms. If you guys care, I'll even delete this stuff, man. That's fine. It's fine with me. This is how I cut the toms. I think about it in a way. I don't know if you guys are old enough to know this, but there was something that I noticed when I was playing the original Mario. I don't know if you guys remember this or ever noticed this, but this would prove my point if you didn't notice this. Whenever you would get some coins or something like that, it would cut out an audio track that was playing already, and it would. So like if the coin sound came in, suddenly the hi-hat would be gone or something like that. And you would never notice because you knew that the coin sound was supposed to be there and that's what you would be focused on. So taking that concept, strangely enough, what's happening right here, 2 tom hits and a bell. You actually might want to, I'm going to leave that like that, and I'll tell you in a second. I'm actually going to go to the next one. Okay, so this one, 2 tom hits and a cymbal. So we don't need the cymbal in the tom hits, and I do understand you can hear the tom decay through the cymbal. However, since he's hitting a cymbal right there, in my brain, logically, I feel like you can take that cymbal out of the tom hits, and you can allow the toms to be cut off by the cymbal because suddenly the interest is no longer the toms sustaining, it is the cymbal that's being hit, if that makes any sense. So there's an accent there, and I would rather have that accent shine through instead of the decay from the tom. So I have no problem cutting these toms so fast. That's how I would cut it, before the cymbal. So if you had it after the cymbal, let's say, you can fade it out like this, but suddenly the cymbal, like if you have these toms cranked, suddenly that cymbal would cut through so loud, and it would be way louder than it needs to be. It would be out of control. So I just get rid of it. It works for me. It'll work for you. Just give it a try, okay? It's not the end of the world. Same deal right here. So you can totally get rid of that guy. So in context, woo, that was loud. That's not very good context. But anyway, I'll show you a little bit. Once we're further along and things sound a little bit better, you'll see what I mean. Now, as far as this ride bell goes, I'm actually going to go back to that really quick because this is an exception to what I just told you. But this ride bell, a lot of the times there will be, when you're recording a drummer, the ride bell will be right next to the tom. So that'll actually be, if you didn't have a ride mic, that'll actually be a valuable tool. You can actually use the sound of that ride, especially if there's an accent like this, where he's only hitting the bell one time. You can use that in your mix to your advantage because it was right next to that ride bell. But for this demonstration, I'm cutting it out. But that would be a time where you would actually leave that in. Anyway, so, oh, look at this. That one's edited. Oh, that one's edited too. Wow, we did that quick. That was great. I just had them on separate playlists if you didn't catch that. So what I also like to do with toms, if you're going to use real toms, I have a few sneaky tricks that I would like to show you. I've already actually gone through and done it on this, but let's see here. I don't think that's it's not showing the volumes. Anyway, so what I like to do, yeah, you can see I have turned these volumes up on these. So I like to go through by hand, and I like to turn the toms up, like each hit. If one of the hits wasn't loud enough, I like to turn it up. Look at these. They were that quiet. So whenever you have a tom in another part like this, that sounded weird. Something happened there. So a tom that loud and a tom this loud, you're going to have some mixing problems. You're not going to be able to put all the same settings on it and stuff. So I like to just go through by hand and turn them up. Just go through and balance them really well. And I think this is really important, even if you're going to add samples on top of it, because throughout the song, if you're mixing a sample with the actual tom, you're going to have the sample or the actual tom sound come through louder sometimes, and sometimes you won't hear it, so your tom sound will just be uneven. So I think it's really important to go through on each of these and make it even across the board. Now, sometimes you'll have really weak hits, and I actually have a little thing I do for those too. I'll actually go through and turn up the transient, like this. I know that sounds ridiculous by itself, but in the context, when I show you everything, this is what they sounded like. In context, once I show you everything, this will all make a lot more sense. But if you go through and you just turn up this, it's really short. Let's see how long it is exactly. This is 316 samples, which is very short. It's just the front hit. So sometimes I'll go through there if the drummer didn't do that great of a job of hitting, just a hit here or there. But just making sure all those transients cut through in the same fashion every time they hit the toms. It's really going to bring a very balanced and also natural feel to the song without even adding samples. I think it's important that your drums sound really good before you add the samples to it. Now, the best thing to do, sometimes you can't do this, and that's why I mentioned that technique. The best thing to do would be to get the drummer to replay it and just do a better job. We obviously know that, and we hate when people say that, but that is the ultimate solution.